Hi everyone, it's Emily Francis with Oh My Malta. We're standing in this beautiful kitchen with Keith Abela, who is a chef and a forager. So that's amazing right there. But that really means to me that food meets science and you are the intersection. So tell me how you found that.
So yeah, I started off as a chef at a young age. I actually started cooking like a bit of a summer job when I was 14 in a hotel. Anyway, progressed through life and went to live abroad for a year. I was 18, I was alone, started studying food sciences. And one thing when you're a chef, it's really funny. They always tell you, you ask a question as a young chef, you're going, chef, why am I doing it like this? And no, it's just the way it's done, just do it this way. So then I got really curious as to what the science is. Is there any scientific fact behind what they're stating? I like in Maltese, we say in Mary, I like to contradict people. So it was always just sort of, I started studying the science of food just so I can contradict someone when they tell me, you should do it like that. And sort of then I got obsessed with it. I started looking at every ingredient in detail and just got fascinated by the science behind it. And then sort of stopped my chefing thing for a while and started teaching just food science-based things. And then I'm like, well, started producing preserves just because there's so much science just to make something food that we keep in the fridge so it doesn't go bad, but there's so much science behind making food that can stay on your shelf at room temperature. And that's how, well, I advanced and my little project sort of grew from there.
So you made this cheese?
Yes.
This is brie cheese?
It's a sort of brie cheese.
What is it? What would you call it?
I don't want to give it names.
Oh, okay. So, but you made this yourself?
Yeah.
And people can purchase it?
Weirdly enough, no, that's just a hobby project. I don't actually sell cheese.
Okay.
I just make it. Again, it was science. I loved brie. I lived in Mo for a while as well, where like it's brie central over there. And recently I found myself absolutely fascinated by bacteria, edible bacteria and edible molds that we find in everyday foods. Absolutely fascinated by it. And so I just started making cheese because, well, I don't really make the cheese. The bacteria and the mold make the cheese. I just sort of shape the cheese and take care of it.
When I was an undergrad, my minor is in nutrition, but we really learned clinical medical ways of adopting food. And my teacher lived with somebody whose parents were both doctors, and they would make sure the bread was molded before they would eat it for the bacteria. Yeah. Are you kind of one of those?
I wish I could say yes, but I can't, because most of the molds I work with are actually penicillin cheeses, like there's penicillium molds. So this, for example, the type of mold that I use is Penicillium camemberti. And weirdly enough, I'm deadly allergic to penicillin. So some of these cheeses give me an allergic reaction.
Wow.
But it's okay, I still eat them,
amazing.
It's fine.
Okay, so you don't sell the cheese, but you do sell everything that's here.
Yes.
So let's talk about this briefly. You went into the forest here in Malta. These are all local products. This is really important to both you and me.
Yep.
Local sourced products, in season, and eating mindfully, which I think stems from eating locally here in Malta. So tell me your favorite one of these and explain it, where you found it, and that way people can get an idea.
So this has to be my favorite. It's a wild apricot and rose jam. And a wild rose jam. So we've been looking around over the last 6 years. We started looking for a wild species of apricot that grows on the Maltese Islands. It's endemic. It's really, really rare. We only know of 3 trees for now. We knew of 6, but 3 of them died, unfortunately. So we've got a rehabilitation project as well, where we keep the seeds and we're trying to grow them from seed to transplant them back in the wild. But honestly, they're so strange. These apricots are less sweet, very sour. They only grow around that big, and it's wonderful. They're also in season with roses, and to me it was like, if you look at, so the roses that are wild are white roses, and then you have the wild apricots as well. They're from the same family, and they both contain a chemical compound called ionone, which is like the tulip rose-like flavor. And they both contain it. So I'm like, okay, they're in season together, they're growing next to each other. We have to make a jam from this. So there's a little bit of science in there, like matching flavor compounds as well.
So apricot and rose and honey.
A little bit of honey.
Apricot, honey, and rose jam. Okay, so take me through, because we don't have that much time, and I know that. Take me through and just tell them the names of these products and where they can order. They are allowed to order from you, right?
Yes,
People can order.
So
take me through.
So everything's online, available online. So this is green tomatoes, local green tomatoes, fully unripe. We pass them through a pickling process, and we actually flavor them with wild pink pepper that grows around, well, all of Malta. It's an invasive species, so please, 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 if you see pink pepper growing wild, just cut as much of it as you can.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's deadly invasive. So that's it, but one of the reasons we wanted to do it is because green tomatoes contain a chemical compound called tomatin that reduces cholesterol in the blood. So we wanted to do something with a little bit of extra sort of fun there.
Since you're healthy.
So yeah, exactly. We made a Jerusalem, for example, this is a Jerusalem artichoke and lemon jam. Wanted to find a way. These are just like little fun personal projects where parents, as you would know, unfortunately I don't,
Well, not yet.
kids, kids find it hard to eat vegetables simply because most vegetables, especially in Malta, are bitter.
Yes.
And we wanted to find a really fun way to incorporate vegetables into something children love, and children love sourness and sweetness.
But Jerusalem artichokes do make you gassy, right? So we had learned from the other farmer that you should eat it with parsley. Is there any, or
Okay.
so parsley on the side?
So no parsley. However, even though the farmer is fully correct, there is a little trick to removing what makes you gassy.
Okay.
It's basically a chemical compound that's bound within the cellulose of the Jerusalem artichoke. And once you break it down, it takes 14 hours to break down. You can boil artichokes for 14 hours and you remove it. You break the cellulose and it extracts what we call amylopectin. So then that helps stabilize the jam as well. So it was, again, there's science behind.
I love it. No, I love this. This is amazing. Okay, last one's vinegar.
Vinegar. This was super fun. So this is a wild apricot vinegar as well.
Okay.
It was just this. Everybody says take apple cider vinegar, take apple cider vinegar.
Yes,
it's good for you. It's good for you. There's mother, but then we never look at other vinegars. And the process of what makes it healthy for you is the bacteria, the live bacteria, and that's called acetobacter. You can see it over here. In fact, that's a bacterial
that's the live
colony.
bacteria.
That's the live bacteria. So we just started deciding to do, let's make every flavored vinegar possible, just not apple cider.
Wonderful.
So this was an apricot cider, we have a bambanella cider, we have a strawberry cider, an artichoke cider vinegar, and we just make different types of vinegars.
That makes a salad amazing.
It does.
Amazing. Okay, last two.
Last two. So this is a wild quince and date chutney. A lot of people don't know we have an endemic type of quince growing wild all over Malta in specific places.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to stop you. What's quince?
Quince is this sort of apple variety that never ripens and you have to cook it before you eat it.
I've never heard of it.
There's like 600 varieties growing around the world,
That's
but we have
amazing.
one variety
Okay.
which is endemic to Malta, so we use that.
And lastly,
The wild bullet tuna pate. That was a very specialized project of mine. I love fish. I go fishing. My father is a fisherman as well. And canned
you
tuna.
go spear fisher.
I go
You're
spear
a spear
fishing.
fisherman.
Yes.
That's amazing. I want to make sure
yes.
people know that because that is unique.
No,
Very unique.
I feel a connection to the land, so I feel like I need to do quite a lot of things surrounding food. No, but this was, we all eat canned tuna from time to time,
Right.
and I wanted to use, having sort of this background in commercial fishing thanks to my family, I realized that there was this tuna species called the tumbrel, the bullet tuna, fully sustainable, but it gets thrown away, or it isn't worth anything, or it's used as fishing bait for other fish. And I'm like, that's not the right way to use fish in a food chain. It's really not. So I just wanted to create another version of tuna, but using a sustainable fish species rather than either bluefin or albacore, whose numbers are reducing.
Keith, I want to thank you for meeting with me. I've heard about you for a long time. Getting to meet you in person is a real honor and pleasure. And thank you
Same
for
here.
what you do for this island, for all of the people, and for using
Thank you.
sustainable ingredients and making us healthier and our lives better. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
being here.